because as you see, if you watch any of these things, he just takes it down a different street, and you don't even get a chance to follow up on any of this stuff because he's not even answering your question. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go to the very first question that's asked by Kelvin Watkins about Brian Schottenheimer. He doesn't answer any of that thing like that. So it's like you got to do the best you can with what you're working with there. The bottom line is that there's nothing that we're going to ask him or Steven that is going to all of a sudden be like, we're changing the whole direction of this organization. These people are completely set in their ways. That's why you got 29 years of what you have right now. You think that all of a sudden that by somebody asking a certain question, it's going to turn this whole thing around? It's laughable to me. If you want to turn it around, stop going to games, stop buying merchandise if you want to turn it around, okay? Don't go to training camp and chant, Jerry, Jerry. When he's out there, you know what I'm saying? Like,
he likes that.
Plenty of stuff if you're that frustrated about it. Love to see it. Would love to write about that. Would love to see that. So anyway.
Boy.
So I would say this out of the press conference. It was very typical. I always like after it's over, seeing the national media talk about how it's like, yeah, kind of strange press conference or whatever like that. Like, yeah, that's how they are. When Jerry's up there, they're not going to be like normal by the book. He's going to get into his tangents and start talking. The reason why I don't really get bogged down by that is because I know, unlike friends that cover other teams, I know we're going to get 20, 30 minutes with Jerry after off the stage to ask him all the stuff about Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn and all those things like that, which we did. And I tweeted out the answers that they had to it. And I get it. People aren't happy with those answers. That's fine. But all you can do is ask the question. I can't force them to interview Ben Johnson. I can't force them to interview Aaron Glenn. Can't force them to have a formal interview with Deion Sanders. They're going to do whatever they want. And what they wanted to do was clearly keep continuity. And that's why they went with Brian Schottenheimer. So I do think that Brian deserves. I think Brian deserves a chance to show what he can do. Am I super confident this is going to be great return on investment? Not really. I want to see what happens, but I thought Brian handled himself really well. He didn't embarrass himself and do any Duval or anything like that would really let you set your back where you're just like, what's this guy talking about? So I thought he handled himself well, which wasn't a surprise because I think being in that situation, speaking in front of a group is one of his strengths. But yeah, those are kind of some of the things. I didn't think there were any answers that really shocked me on anything. You know, they want him to be the OC. They want him to call plays. We found out, a little while after that Matt Eberflus was going to be the DC. Nothing really new there. Yeah. I would say if there's anything, it would be that maybe we see them do something a little bit more in free agency. There's kind of that tenor to that. But that's very much on my level of I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, man, that's fire right there. That's fire.
First of all, can I just say I think I done rubbed off on John a little bit. This man came this man came here with the fire, bro. But go ahead, bro.
And he didn't do no air quotes either.
John, listen, I can tell that John is his. First of all, my mentions, AOC mentions, and Law Nation's mentions are probably at a 5 on Twitter and on YouTube. Though. John Machota's mentions are at a 10. I know there's a time when you say, I just can't, I got to turn it off. Because I know John, and guys, John, nobody's going to go up to Jerry Jones. They can say all they want on Twitter, Instagram, whatever. Yeah, I'm going to go tell Jerry F himself. No, you're not. You're not. You're going to get escorted out of there and you'll never do that. There's a certain way that you have to handle yourself. So I think that's spot on. I want to go around the room because we got a lot to get to. Okay. AOC, you sold me mid-show last week on Brian Schottenheimer. How do you feel about the hire? Just
even
surface level.
Better. The more and more and more that comes out, the more I hear the players speaking, the way I see him building this staff. Yeah, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Brian Schottenheimer. Yes, I was firmly on the ship of, hey, bring us a Ben Johnson, bring us an Aaron Glenn. But at the end of the day, there's been some amazing points made. Technically speaking, there wasn't anybody more qualified on the market that hasn't already been a head coach before than Brian Schottenheimer to be a head coach. There wasn't. And you showed me a guy that when he's on his off period, instead of holding himself up in the barn and pretending to do all this deep research on the team, you showed me a guy that sends out a representative to go ask all his former employees and employers, what could he have done better? You showed me that's a man right there with an unmeasured level of self-awareness. And for me, the best coaches are guys who show the ability to evolve with the times and are self-aware. And to me, Brian Schottenheimer has checked both of them boxes for me. I thought I was going to like him before, but the press conference, bro, it sold me. It sold me. And personally speaking, my competitive side, hearing him talk about the type of football players he wanted, hearing him, that fiery quote, I wasn't ready then. I'm ready now. Bro, I was ready to run through a wall, bro. I'm serious. And I think the players feel the same way.
Law?
Yeah, on a scale of 1 to 10, I give Brian Schotty a 5 right now, and it's adjustable. We looking at 2 pitchers right now, Matt Eberflus and Brian Schotty. So what I like to do is see what the canvas will look like after it's all done, see if we're going to do anything in free agency and do something different. And on top of that, as well as we see what we can do in the draft, and then we can revisit everything. But I do like the aspect of what Will McClay said about the vision being aligned. So I'm hearing that also with Brian Schotty, he do have a vision. He have a plan. So this is not me taking a lot of stuff and throwing it against the wall to see what sticks. So hopefully we bring run game to the pitcher. If we can get that offensive line coach from or from the Cardinals, that would be a plus for us. And if we can get that D-line coach from the Jets, that'll be a plus for us.
They hired them.
Oh, they all hired?
No, not Clayton Adams. Yeah, the Jets guy.
The Jets coach, what's his name is?
Aaron?
Yeah, Aaron Whiteside. I think Aaron Whiteside. White Cotton.
Mike Cotton?
Yeah.
I don't care what anybody says. That's an A+ hire. And if nothing else, if you watch the Jets on film, that D line plays good.
Yes.
He's on the Cowboys?
Yes.
Cowboys
Oh, wow. I'm late. Yeah.
No, that actually came down the pike. So
that's good stuff.
I'm gonna lean more towards AOC here. And I know we've had our battles, but I'm gonna go 8. I'm all in. And I'm gonna tell you why.
That's where I'm at.
One thing, bro, my coach always tells me, if you're gonna miss big. If you gonna take a shot, bro, I'd rather you throw a pick than take it than being checked down Charlie. When Brian Schottenheimer said, I wasn't ready then, I'm ready now, he's like, don't give me Jason Garrett. Well,
how you doing, guys?
Process. And no, bro, like some of that is real. Some of that is, some of that intensity. I want to feel that. I also, one thing that I took was that Jerry took some shots at McCarthy. Brian didn't take one. I thought that was very classy. Mm-hmm. I thought it sounded like a man who had waited his turn, had waited his line in line. Was he the top candidate? Absolutely not. Like, we're not gonna sit right here, John. Mm-hmm. You had done a great job of illustrating. Okay, Dion, yes, I think Dion is a big name. Some of these other candidates, yes. But when it started to come out about Schotty, and now you're hearing more stories about just how good of a coach he is, I didn't realize how good he had Mark Sanchez playing. I went all the way back. I'm like, whoa, he did coach Mark Sanchez. And then obviously the Russell Wilson deal, which you outlined last week, AOC. Here's where I think this is going, and I'll get your guys' opinion. I think that they sat down and said, can you get us to a world where we can maximize Dak?